and welcome to our how-to video on Apron Capture. So we've got some dummy data in our company here that we're looking at. When you log in, it'll have your company's name up here on this side, and then we've got some sections. We've got a pay button. So what this does is it pulls through things that it thinks are due for payment in Xero. Now, you can actually make international payments and stuff like that using Apron. And now if you want to do that, do let us know. We'll have a chat about it and how that works and stuff like that. But ultimately, really, this bit should just be information for you. So we've got some dummy data in there. You've got the bookkeeping section. This is where we can spend most of our time. So we'll come back to that. We'll start with our contacts. So this will pull through your contacts from Xero, all of that information in there. And in our settings, you'll have anyone that is set up in your Apron Capture account. You'll also have some other information, mainly your direct emails. So this is your email in address for purchases. So if we have a look at where we're at with in the bookkeeping section. So when you take a picture of a receipt or a purchase invoice, or when you forward a purchase invoice in from your emails onto that direct email we just looked at, it will show in here. And what it will do is it will say who it's come from, and it will read it, and it may say it's ready or it may say it needs more information. So for example, if we click on here, this is an Adobe invoice, and Apron has read a lot of the information on here. So it knows it's an invoice. It knows it's from Adobe. It knows it's IT cost because it's previously had one of these. If it didn't already know that, it would be blank here, and all you'd do is you'd search for the relevant category in your little search bar there, and you just select it. So I've just got rid of that one there. So IT, software and conceivable. So I just select that there. It will pull out the reference number. It's picking that up from up there. And it's also going to pull out an issue date. Now, if it doesn't have a due date, as you can see, the invoice has got an amount there, but it doesn't have a due date for payment. So it's guessing. It's guessing it's 30 days. So if, for example, we know, so an Adobe invoice actually is pretty much due the same time. So we're just going to type that in and say it's due on the 21st of January. That's the date of the invoice. If you knew it was 30 days or 14 days or something, you could put that in there. You can open the calendar up and pick that up from there as well. You can add a description if you want to. These little thingies here with the stars on, that's AI giving us some indication of what it thinks it might be. So we could put that in there if we wanted to. In all honesty, it's pretty self-explanatory, this one, but something, for example, maybe an Amazon invoice, that could be anything. You might want to put what that's for, or maybe you've got entertainment invoice. You've taken a client out for lunch and you want to put the client's information in there, or something like that. It will then pull out the amounts for you. So it will pull out the total, and if it reads that there's any VAT, it will extract that. Now there isn't actually any VAT on this one, so it's pulling nothing out. Say we know that there's VAT on it. For example, Apple iCloud invoices. They all have VAT on them, but it doesn't actually break it out on the invoice. So you can actually just select 20% VAT and it will back calculate that for you. I'm just going to get rid of that because we don't actually need that. It's very clever with its creating line items. If you click there, say you've got an invoice that had got a handful of lines on it or multiple lines, and you want to put those lines to different categories. If you click on the add lines, you can either add them manually, or there is an AI version here that will split out all of the different lines on the invoice based on what it can read. Now this has only got one line, unfortunately, so it won't actually do that for us, but it would come up like that and it would split it out like that. And then you would select what it's for. So again, we know this is IT, and done. And then it would break out the lines for you there at the bottom. And when you're ready with everything, all you need to do is hit publish, and that will push that into Xero for you, and it pushes it straight into the awaiting payment section of your bills section in Xero. You don't need to go into draft or waiting approval and approve anything. It will go straight in there for you. Now, if it has already picked up all the information that you want it to pick up on here, So for example, it says it's IT costs, it's got an amount, we know already there's no VAT on it. You can just hit publish from there and it will just forward that into Xero for you. And that's how Apron Capture works for your purchase invoices and purchase receipts.